Don Lemon specifically asked him, well, are you a scientist? He could have been like, yeah, dude, I am. But you don't need to be one to answer this very, very simple question. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's party. So on the live show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've been talking a lot about, the 2024 race and who we're looking at to win and all of that stuff. And, Vivek Ramaswamy has been talked about a lot, but I haven't really addressed him in a shorter form, so I figured we'd take a clip from right after he got Don Lemon fired off CNN. He went on Fox News with Hannity, and let's just check it out.
2024 Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy joins us now with more.
I'm loving it.
I don't know.
I love
it. Sorry, all my rowdy friends are here tonight. So first you get Don Lemon fired, which, by the way, I can't thank you. I don't like firing, but the guy had nobody watching him anyway. The fact that we actually played that segment on this show was the biggest audience he ever had in his life.
Facts.
But then you have this run-in, and you go, do you know this as a scientist? He knows you're not a scientist. But you answer, you go, yeah, if you have two X chromosomes, you're a woman. You have an X and a Y, you're a man. And that's what nature tells us. And I'm thinking, what a dumbass question on his part.
Yep. Yeah.
It really was kind of a funny exchange. And the funny part, Sean, I didn't even want to bring it up, is I graduated from Harvard with a degree in biology.
I didn't even know that. Oh, that makes me like him even more. Even more. Don Lemon specifically asked him, well, are you a scientist? He could have been like, yeah, dude, I am. But you don't need to be one to answer this very, very simple question. Shout out to Vivek Ramaswamy.
I didn't want to throw those facts at him. I actually just stuck to the basic facts, which everyone understands what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. That is what it means to stand for truth. And the funny thing is, take the Chuck Todds of the world, okay? A lot of the left said for years that the sex of the person that you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the core premise of the gay rights movement. And yet now they say your own biological sex is completely fluid over the course of your life. Those two things cannot make sense at the same time.
Can't they? I mean, I'm not saying they do, but I don't think that they're necessarily mutually exclusive, right? Because you could say, I was born to be attracted to males. But I was born a male, and now I feel like a woman or whatever. It's all silly and ridiculous. Here we go, having the conversation on their terms once again.
Unless you're subscribing to a sort of cult. And that's what this LGBTQIA plus movement has become. It's not about logic. It's a cult, which is why, Sean, I like going on those programs. Don Lemon, Chuck Todd, you name it.
I like him going on those programs too, because not enough people who could very easily just shut them down do. Nobody does it. People just go on CNN and make them look stupid. We'll all enjoy it.
I like going on and having that debate on the other side's home turf
like
and
on
winning.
This show a lot
that's
better.
what we're going to do.
And that's what we need from a president. Not somebody who is able to just steamroll by, having these quippy, witty remarks, which is good and also is entertaining. But when it comes to actually having the conversation, when it comes to actually engaging with questions, it's oh, no, wrong, that has its place. But actually saying, no, listen, we're going to engage this. We're actually going to talk about this. That is really valuable.
This is fun. I'm only kidding. Well, I used to do all those shows. I did the Today Show. I did ABC Good Morning America. I even did that hard-hitting news show called The View.
We all know how bipartisan The View is, right? They're fair to everybody.
Yes. Was not the most pleasant experience of my life, I'll tell you that. But you said something else that was very reasonable that people have not picked up on. And you said, look, somebody becomes 18 years old. At that point, if they want to make that decision, they're now old enough as an adult, pretty much 18.
I mean, yeah, there's certainly a lot of argument about whether we should be moving the age of adulthood and majority from 18 to 21, 25, whatever. That's a conversation I'm actually willing to have, because I think with the arrested development of my own generation, millennials and Gen Z, there's definitely a conversation to be had about the 18-year-olds in 1930 are not the same 18-year-olds of 2023. It's just not the same. But that's neither here nor there. The fact is that we have made this arbitrary law, this arbitrary line, 18 years old, you are an adult. Before that point, you are a minor, you are a child. After that point, you are endowed with the rights of every other adult in the country. They were using all these examples, tattoos, this, that, whatever. It doesn't matter. All of it is 18, 18, 18, 18. And then, you have the drinking age, which I do think should be the same thing. But another reason why we should change it. But anyway, why is it? Why is it that so quickly, we are willing to just toss away that notion of, oh, you're an adult versus you're a child, and a child can't consent. That's a slippery slope if there ever was one. But as soon as it comes to your gender, well, doesn't matter. Why? How?
To make that decision, and they should be free to make that decision.
Yep.
The part I have a problem with is when you have teachers in schools wanting to indoctrinate a captive audience of kids, talk about gender identity and talk about, sexual material that is not age appropriate. And meanwhile, these kids can't read, write, do math, science, and know nothing about history and nothing about computers.
Oh, but they know 73 different gender pronouns, right? It's crazy. Well, how did we even get this far down the slope? I don't get it, guys. And if you don't get it either, make sure you join the after party in the Indian Jesus Discord server where the party never ends. That's right, 24/7 we are going in there. And after every live stream, we go in for a panel discussion. You're not behind your keyboard. You are there live in person. Well, not in person, but, you can cam up, all of that good stuff. It is a good time. Come and join us.
If they do that job first and they want to have an after-school program on gender identity that kids can opt into, I'd be for that.
Sure, why not?
Absolutely. And here's what I say is here's my deal with this LGBTQIA plus, especially the trans cult, okay?
And it is a cult. There is no question about the fact that it is a cult. You take the ideas and the policy positions these people have, and you just go and ask random people, hey, do you agree with this? And they're going to say no, because you are in a cult and normal people don't think this way.
Dress how you want, behave how you want as an adult, live your life freely, but leave our kids alone and do not demand that we change our language or the way we live our lives. We can all live peaceably that way. So in the name of rights, what they've actually done, Sean, is created a new culture of oppression in the opposite direction, imposing that on kids.
And that's not a mistake either. Remember Ibram X. Kendi. The only way to deal with past discrimination is with present and future discrimination. They're not trying to hide it. They're trying to put you down because they feel like they've been so oppressed. And maybe they have been. But putting me down is not going to help you. Putting anybody else down is not going to help you. The only thing that's going to help you is to lift yourself up. And I think that is what Vivek stands for.
I'll tell you this. I was campaigning in New Hampshire. I met two young women. It was a sad story. Both of them, when they were teenagers, had their breasts cut off, had chemical intervention. One of them had her uterus removed. She now wants to have children. She won't be able to.
Of course. You're telling me that a woman wants to have children?
How dare you?
That can't possibly be. Oh, maybe she thought she wouldn't want children. And then, like many people do, changed her mind. We could have never foreseen that, right?
Sad that we live in a country that allows us to do that to these kids. Yeah. There isn't a state in this union that allows you to get a tattoo. Why on earth are you allowed as a kid to get genital mutilation and chemical castration instead?
And, I'll take a page out of Tim Pool's book, and he says he doesn't like to sensationalize this topic by talking about genital mutilation and all this stuff. And all he says is child sex change, because that's what it is. And I don't feel that it is something that we need to dress up in order for the significance to land. I think child sex change is as drastic as it needs to be. I think it is genital mutilation, but all you're doing is the same thing that happened with Trump to all the liberals who hated Trump. There was a lot to not dislike about Trump, but you went after all the stuff that he didn't do or say and made people like me defend Trump. And now you kept going so far that now I'm like, hey, I might vote for the guy. So I'm just saying maybe it's worth tempering our language and being very deliberate with the terms that we use with this very sensitive topic.
That's what I'm going to deliver as president. This is eminently reasonable, and I think it can actually unify our country.
All right, Vivek, Ramaswamy, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we turn now to Brittany Griner.
So, yeah, I mean, that is Vivek Ramaswamy. What did you guys think of him? Are you planning on voting in the 24 election? Do you think that he is somebody that could win over your vote? Likely right now, if you're on the right, you're probably looking at either Trump or DeSantis. But, you know, Vivek is a real player in this game. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with us once again. This is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys. Oh, I got a treat for you for staying so late. Comment the word Morty in the comments so I know who's here until the very end. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.